Nation presents the top 10 reasons why Dom is interested in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Number 10. It's BioWare and Star Wars. BioWare has been responsible for some of the most critically acclaimed and successful single-player role-playing game franchises over the last decade and a half. From Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights to Jade Empire, Mass Effect, and Dragon Age, BioWare has a proven track record as a developer of bold, deep stories that capture the spirit of adventure, along with presentation that few others could ever hope to achieve. The last time BioWare took on the Star Wars universe, they came up with Knights of the Old Republic, arguably one of the best single-player role-playing games ever. Star Wars is the most popular science fiction franchise on Earth, and is recognizable to millions of potential players. Number 9. It's being published by Electronic Arts. While some don't have a lot of love for EA, no one can doubt their incredibly deep pockets. The company's aim is to go up against Activision Blizzard and their perennial cash cow, World of Warcraft. This partnership is a wonderful thing for Old Republic gamers. Finally, a publisher with real money and confirmed direction is paired with a developer with real ability, taking on the king. Number 8. The Companion System. An exciting addition to the MMO genre with tons of options for gamers. This system will simplify things like crafting and group quests, while also improving the solo gaming experience. They work much like companions in other BioWare games like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, complementing playstyle while questing, adding optional storylines including romance, and can even complete a group. Need one more person to round out your party for a tough boss or elite monster? The group leader calls out their companion, and you're ready to go. Number 7. Crew Skills. One of the most slow, grinding parts of MMO gameplay is crafting. It usually consists of gathering materials, putting them together to form items, most of which are useless, and repeating the process for hours, possibly days of game time, until the player is finally able to make the good stuff that actually matters. BioWare's response? Let's change the whole ballgame. Their answer is Crew Skills, a system that allows all 5 companion characters to do the work for you, whether you're online or not. They can be sent out to gather whatever is needed, take it back to the player's personal starship, and assemble it at the crafting bench on board. In the meantime, players get to keep questing and playing with friends, so the really cool crafted items are still available at Endgame, without the tedious craft grind getting in the way of interesting and fun game time. For those who really do love to gather resources, don't worry. Players don't have to use companions for gathering if they really don't want to. Number 6. A PvP system that rewards Trinity. Ever heard the expression, you don't take a tank into PvP unless you want to get laughed at? I haven't either until just a second ago when I made it up, but it's a good rule of thumb in traditional MMOs. BioWare looked at this issue and decided to do something about it. In the Old Republic, a tank in PvP will act like, well, a tank. They'll be able to deflect damage from other players and absorb it themselves, and get this, actually get rewarded for how much damage they deflect and absorb. It's almost as if the developers want players to play the class they enjoy the most, even in PvP. Number 5. Tons of content. The average time each player will have invested in their character when they reach max level is 200 hours. Of course, some players will reach it much faster than others, and some much slower, but this is still an awesome amount of content for a new MMO at launch. This includes class quests, world arcs, world quests, and other actual game content that players will complete as they head towards endgame. Things like PvP are not included in this estimate, so there's still plenty of time to reach level 50, and plenty of roses to smell along the way. Number 4. No auto attack. I keep talking about the awesome things the Old Republic has, but let's talk for a moment about one thing it doesn't have: auto attack. This means that characters will not swing a weapon back and forth or fire projectiles from long range between using actual abilities. Now, most caster classes in MMOs already work this way, but Melee usually does not. In the Old Republic, everyone is on equal footing, and skill can have a much bigger impact in PvE and PvP content. Number 3. The Crowd Control Resolve Bar. This is a built-in crowd control diminishing returns monitor that sits below the health bar during PvP encounters. When players use crowd control abilities on each other, the bar begins filling up until diminishing returns takes over, making the player completely immune for a short time. All players will have these bars, and all players will be able to see them, so no wasting a crowd control ability on someone who can't be affected. Number 2. The world is real scale and epic in size. This means that everything in this game is the size it should be. If you ever walked around the outside of the Ebon Hawk in Knights of the Old Republic, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was like a galactic clown car. Well, there's no more of that. The inside of a building or cave is on a scale that makes sense, not falsely smaller or larger to fit a mission. And the size of the maps? Well, get this. Alderaan, just one of the planets in the Old Republic, is larger than the entire map of Dragon Age Origins, or over 7 to 8 World of Warcraft zones in size. There are 17 different planets to explore, some of which have multiple levels, Coruscant for example, that add even more scale to the game world. And the number one reason is story. Yes, the number one reason to be excited about the Old Republic is story, but you knew that already, right? But see, it's more than just the 60 or so novels of writing, more than the reported 800,000 lines of dialogue, and more than the voiceovers of hundreds of voice actors. It's about choice. Do you kill the Sith Lord and endanger the entire excavation of Tatooine? Or let him live and see if he can be of use to you later on? Do you murder a young boy's father and return him to his mother so that he can join the Imperial military? Or let them both escape and tell the mother you have no idea what happened to them? Do you fall in love with your companions and risk your place in the Jedi Order? Or see what happens when you make them angry, and what new quests it might reveal? These are the choices you'll make in the Old Republic, and they will affect you for as long as you play. There is no save game to load, no autosave to protect you. It's a living, breathing, changing world, and it will be different for each player from start to finish. Thanks for watching the top 10 reasons why Dom is interested in Star Wars: The Old Republic.